What do the Georgia Bulldogs need to do on Saturday to make Georgia's G-Day scrimmage successful? Is Kirby Smart going to be in a good mood when he meets with the reporters after the scrimmage, or is he going to be in a frustrated mood? That's what this video is all about. I'm going to be breaking down my thoughts of what needs to happen in order for Georgia's G-Day scrimmage to be a successful one and one that makes Kirby Smart happy at the end of it. So let's jump right in. Obviously, no injuries, right? I mean, Georgia's been hit with the injury bug quite often early this spring, losing George Pickens for probably the entire 2021 season with a torn ACL, the hyperextended knee that Jermaine Burton got a week later. He's going to be out for still a good amount of time. I think he will be ready for their season opener against Clemson. And then Kenny McIntosh has been missing in the spring as well. Luckily for Georgia, they might have the best running back room in the country. But still, those are three injuries that, and three guys you're not going to see at G-Day. So if they can get in and out of the scrimmage with no injuries, I think that would be ideal. Everyone would be happy. You might have a couple guys go down because they got to play hard. I mean, there's a lot of positions up for grabs, a lot of playing time up for grabs. So there's going to be a lot of guys playing their hardest. So occasionally you might see a guy get dinged up here and there. For the most part, you don't want to see any serious injuries going on. So that does seem obvious. So we will continue to move forward. The second thing I'm going to be looking at the most is who wins the backup job at quarterback. We know JT Daniels is the guy, returning starter. This is his job. But if for some reason he goes down, who's the next guy coming in? I mean, we know Stetson Bennett, what he brings to the table. He had some moments last year, especially against Auburn, who was a top 10 team at the time when Stetson Bennett beat them. But we also know that he's limited. Can Stetson Bennett help Georgia beat Clemson? He's not going to really help. I think it's only going to make things a little tougher for Georgia. Can he beat Florida? Maybe. It depends on how good Florida is next year. But do you beat Clemson with Carson Beck? I think you have a better shot, probably. Do you beat Carson Beck with Florida instead of Stetson Bennett? You might. I'm a Carson Beck guy. I always have been since I saw him play in high school. I know what he can bring to the table. And if Carson Beck is not number 2 on the depth chart going into the fall, he needs to know that coming out of the spring so he can maybe look to transfer somewhere else. But I do think Georgia needs to give him a shot. And from everything we've heard through recent scrimmages, Carson Beck has been lights out this spring. So I do think it's important that he continues to progress. And overall, I just want to see who wins that number 2 job. And then, of course, Brock Vandegrift, the 5-star freshman, will be interesting to see how he plays as well. Future is very bright, but I don't think he is going to overtake Stetson Bennett or Carson Beck on the depth chart. So quarterback situation, number 2. Number 3, the offensive line. Best 5 guys, that's what we've been told often over and over again by the staff. Does Xavier Truss play at left tackle? Does he continue to take that spot, move Jamari Sawyer inside at guard? Do any of the young guys fight Justin Schaefer for the right guard spot? Broderick Jones, second-year 5-star. Tate Radledge, second-year former 5-star. I want to see how those guys play and if they can push one of the expected veteran guys for a starting role. And then obviously the center position, Cedric Van Pran. Blanking on the other kid's name right now, dude, at North Gwinnett, Warren Erickson. I think that's going to be a strong battle there as well. So overall, I want to see who the best 5 are on the offensive line and see how Amarius Mims does, Broderick Jones, Tate Radledge as well. Going to the secondary, the defensive backs. Listen, there's no Tyson Campbell, there's no Eric Stokes, there's no Richard LeCount, there's no Tyreek Stevenson, there's no DJ Daniel, there's no Mark Webb. There's a lot of playing time out there and a lot of young guys back there. Very talented, but young. Kirby's told us multiple times that Keely Ringo, former 5-star, is not quite ready just yet. So I believe Jalen Kimber and Amir Speed are going to be the 2 guys you see the most at cornerback. Maybe Darren Branch, former 3-star. I think we'll see a lot of him there as well. The star position could be anyone. They're going to play Adam Anderson there a good bit. And it wouldn't surprise me at all to see some of the younger guys try to step up and take on that role as well. So that could be a linebacker. That could be another safety, maybe a cornerback. That position is up for grabs too, I think. But safeties, Christopher Smith, Lewis Seen, I think is a nice little duo there. But there's a lot of young safeties who I think are going to make some plays as well. And then a receiver. Not a weakness at all by any stretch. Actually, I believe it's one of the strengths of the team where it was before George Pickens got hurt. But he is hurt. Now, other guys have to step up. Jermaine Burton is still hurt. Marcus Rosemy-Jack Saint is still hurt. Of course, Don Blaylock, who played a lot as a freshman, borderline 5-star guy, one of my favorite players from his class out of high school. He's still coming off an ACL injury. Who knows if he'll be 100% game one? I don't think he will be, but I think he'll play and maybe be 50, 75%. Same with Marcus Rosemy-Jack Saint. So it's a beat up position group, but that means other guys have to step up. Justin Robinson, 6'5", big-bodied receiver on the outside. He's kind of dealt with some injury issues, in high school and a little bit, I believe, since he's arrived at Georgia. But when he's healthy, I definitely think he's going to get a long look. Kyrus Jackson, as reliable as it gets, he's going to get his playing time, but he needs a bigger-bodied receiver out there who can open up the middle of the field for him, depending on where he lines up. But Adonai Mitchell, freshman wideout, everyone has been raving about. I think he'll be able to make a lot of plays. Of course, everyone wants to see the speed of Arian Smith and the connection with him and JT Daniels as well. So there's a lot to look forward to at the receiver position. It'll be interesting to see that battle between some of the younger wide receivers who are looking to earn playing time going up against a lot of these young defensive backs who are also trying to solidify their role in the secondary and push for a starting job as well. So you know what you're getting with the running backs, the tight ends, the quarterbacks. But offensively, I think I'll be watching the offensive line play, especially seeing how the younger guys are developing. And, of course, who steps up at wide receiver. The defense, the front seven, might be the best in college football. No worries there. But I do want to see who steps up at the cornerback position as well. So other than that, I think Georgia's pretty strong all over the field. I think they're very deep. I don't think the offensive line is going to have the best day simply because they're going up against maybe the best front seven in college football. So as long as they don't get their butt kicked, I think that's a positive sign. And we'll say I think they're going to want to throw the ball around a lot. So there's going to be a lot of opportunities for the receivers because of these quarterbacks. Again, someone's got to win that number 2 job, and they're going to want to sling it around and prove that if something happens to JT Daniels, that they are able to step up and be the guy. So definitely want to see how Carson Beck does in the spring as well. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Stay tuned to the next one coming up right now, and I'll see you over on the website.